Yo, NBA players are giants. Like an average dude out there is practically bite-sized compared to them at 6'7". But guess what? There have been some super short NBA stars who defied the odds. We're talking about 25 players in history who were 5'9" or shorter. Among them, the absolute shortest king on the court. Who am I talking about? Muggsy Bogues, a legend standing at an almighty 5'3". This is the story of how Muggsy defied them all and balled his way into the NBA, all on pure talent and heart. You're not gonna want to miss this. Scrappy little Tyrone Bogues, the youngest of four who wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. In fact, Baltimore's rough streets were his playground, a place where life expectancy dipped lower than a weekend's jump shot, thanks to drugs and violence. At the tender age of 5, Muggsy, not his nickname yet of course, got caught in the middle of a robbery. Wrong place, wrong time. Buckshot rained down like a hailstorm, peppering his arms and legs. Luckily, after a mad dash to the hospital, the doctor gave him the all clear. No major damage done. This was a close call that could have shaken anyone. But for Muggsy, it was a turning point. It lit a fire under him, a burning desire to dribble his way out of that tough life. But life dealt Muggsy a tough hand. Muggsy's father and oldest brother got tangled up with drugs, and his dad even landed a 20-year prison sentence for armed robbery when Muggsy was just 12 years old. Rough times for sure, but Muggsy wasn't about to follow that path. Basketball became his escape, his hatch, his way out of chaos. He might have been the shortest dude on every playground, constantly fighting to get picked up for a game, but Muggsy had heart, and tons of it. He wouldn't back down, wouldn't be ignored. That's where his fierce style of play was born, all grit and determination. And Muggsy wasn't just a basketball whiz, he was a superstar on the playground. The little dude could do it all. Wrestling, baseball, you name it, he's done it. He wasn't afraid to get competitive on any field. And that awesome name Muggsy, that's where it all started. Back when he was a kid on the playground, apparently reminded everyone of a character from a classic show called The Bowery Boys. Muggsy wasn't just a one-school wonder. He started dribbling his way to greatness at Southern High School, but his dreams went way beyond the buzzer beater. Muggsy wanted to become a dental technician, so he made a power move and transferred to Dunbar High School, the school with the healthcare classes he needed. At Dunbar, he landed a legendary coach, Bob Wade, who later became a superstar at the University of Maryland. But the real all-star team was on the court with Muggsy. He played alongside future NBA players like David Wingate, Reggie Williams, and Reggie Lewis, who were actually all in the same grade. Together, they were the Dunbar Poets, and they were unstoppable. They destroyed the competition, going undefeated, 29-0 in his junior year, and then 31-0 as seniors. They were even ranked number 1 in the nation by USA Today. With moves that smooth, college scouts were tripping over themselves to offer scholarships from Virginia, Penn State, and Seton Hall. The little guy with a big dream was a major league prospect. Muggsy didn't just dominate high school, he took his talents to Wake Forest and joined the Demon Deacons. For 4 years, he was a scoring machine, averaging over 11 points per game as a junior and upping the ante to nearly 15 points a game as a senior. But Muggsy wasn't selfish. He was a master of the dime, averaging over 8 assists a game throughout his college career. He even led the entire ACC, Atlantic Coast Conference, in steals and assists. And that wasn't all. Muggsy racked up awards like trophies, taking home the Francis Pomeroy Naismith Award, and even being named Wake Forest's most valuable athlete. By the time he hung up his college jersey, he was the ACC's all-time leader in both steals and assists. The little man was a college basketball legend in the making. Wake Forest knew what they had in Muggsy. They retired his jersey just a few years after he left, and in 2001, he scored another slam dunk by being inducted into their Sports Hall of Fame. As of 2021, guess what? He's still the king of steals and assists at Wake Forest. Nobody has topped his incredible record. But Muggsy's talents weren't just for college ball. He even suited up for the USA national team and brought home the gold medal back in the 1986 FIBA World Championship. Under legendary coach Lute Olson, Muggsy wasn't just a starter. He was a leader, leading the team in both assists and steals. Before Muggsy became an NBA legend, he was already a superstar in the United Basketball League, drafted second overall by the Rhode Island Gulls. He wasn't just a player, he was a fan favorite. The Gulls led the league in attendance thanks to Muggsy's magic. He averaged an incredible 22 points and 8 assists per game and was leading the league in minutes played on top of that. Unfortunately, an ankle injury cut his season short, but man, what a season it was. Muggsy wasn't just drafted into the NBA, he defied the odds. The 1987 NBA draft was stacked with future legends like David Robinson, Reggie Miller, and Scottie Pippen. But Muggsy wasn't fazed. The Washington Bullets snatched him up at number 12, making him part of an elite group on draft night. Dreams came true for Muggsy. And he didn't just make his debut against the Atlanta Hawks, he started the game and led the team in assists. And here's the kicker. At the time, he was a whopping 16.5 inches shorter than the average NBA player. But hey, height ain't everything. Talent is what matters. And Muggsy had that in spades. Muggsy Bogues' rookie year was like a scene straight out of a movie. He played alongside the towering Manute Bol, who is a staggering 7'7", and that's 28 inches taller than Muggsy. They were the NBA's shortest and tallest players at the time. An incredible duo that even landed them on 3 magazine covers together. Things got a bit rocky when the coach changed and Muggsy's playing time took a dip, but that didn't stop him from shining. He had a game where he snagged an impressive 7 steals and scored 10 points to help his team win. And guess what? Even though he only started 14 games that year, he led the Bullets in both steals and assists. What a rookie season for the shortest guy ever in the league. The little man was a force to be reckoned with from the very beginning. But Muggsy's NBA journey took a surprising turn when the Washington Bullets left him unprotected in the expansion draft, basically saying they didn't need him anymore. But that turned out to be a huge mistake. The Charlotte Hornets swooped in and grabbed him, giving Muggsy a fresh start in a new city. The best part? Muggsy wasn't fazed at all. He told reporters he had no hard feelings and was actually excited for this new chapter with the Hornets. Looks like the Bullets underestimated the little man. And the Hornets, they were about to get a superstar. The Charlotte Hornets, or more like Muggsy's Hornets, drafted by the new team. Coach Harder stuck Muggsy on the bench at first, only letting him in for quick bursts of energy. And let's just say Harder wasn't much of a Muggsy fan. But hey, the old saying, what goes around comes around. And Harder got the boot. The new coaches, Little and Bristow, knew exactly what they had in Muggsy. A star in the making. He blossomed under their leadership, becoming a starter for most of his 10 seasons with the Hornets, alongside legends like Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson. Muggsy became one of the faces of the Hornets franchise. Muggsy Bogues wasn't just a Hornet. He was the heart and soul of the Charlotte Hornets. This wasn't just a team. It was Muggsy's squad. He led them to greatness. Under his leadership, he transformed them to a so-so team to a real championship threat, making the playoffs 3 times. And Muggsy wasn't just popular with the team, he was a fan favorite, and the Hornets were the hottest ticket in town. But Muggsy wasn't all about popularity. He backed it up with skills. For 6 straight seasons, he was a top 10 leader in assists per game, even grabbing second place one year. He was a master of passing the basketball, and in the 1992-93 season, he even had the best assist-to-turnover ratio in the entire NBA. The little man wasn't just a crowd pleaser, he was a flat-out hooper. In the 1993-94 season, he even averaged a double-double, which is insanely impressive. In the NBA, Muggsy Bogues was a Charlotte Hornet legend, and he was on a roll. In the 1994-95 season, he put up a career-high 10.8 points per game, but then came a tough break: knee surgery. He battled back from arthroscopic surgery on his left knee in August of 1995, but it just wasn't the same. The following season, 1995-96, was a struggle. He was in and out of the lineup with injuries, and his scoring average plummeted. He only managed 14 points in 6 games. Muggsy tried to bounce back again the following season, but nagging injuries continued to slow him down. He missed 17 games and his overall production dipped. It was a tough end to a great run for Muggsy Bogues, and Muggsy Bogues' Hornets fairy tale was about to take a turn for the worse. By 1997, his knee injuries continued, and Coach Collins was basically like, "Yo, Muggsy, maybe it's time to call it a career." But that wasn't even the worst part. The Hornets went out and grabbed another point guard, David Wesley, basically saying, "Sorry, Muggsy, but we got your replacement already." That truly has to hurt. Owner George Shinn tried to calm things down, promising Muggsy could retire a Hornet, a true legend. But then the plot twist nobody saw coming. The Hornets asked Muggsy to get an MRI on his knee, like they were questioning if he was even hurt. This wasn't how a Charlotte legend deserved to go out, and Muggsy wasn't having it. On November 7th, things got crazy. He, along with teammate Tony Delk, were traded to the Golden State Warriors in a swap for B.J. Armstrong. Wow, can you believe it? This was after Muggsy led the entire NBA in assist to turnover ratio, on top of being the Hornets' all-time leader in steals and assists. And let's just say Muggsy wasn't exactly thrilled. As he cut ties with the Hornets organization, this trade also meant Dell Curry, Muggsy's best friend on the team, was now the last original Hornet standing. But Muggsy wasn't done hooping just yet. He landed with the Golden State Warriors in the trade, and guess what? He wasn't there to just warm the bench. And even though he didn't start most games in the 1997-98 season, he still led the Warriors in assists. The little man was a machine. The next season, though, was a bit rough. Injuries kept him off the court, including a bout with chickenpox. He only played in 36 games, but hey, even Muggsy Bogues gets the occasional case of the spots. But Muggsy wasn't done playing just yet. He signed with the Toronto Raptors to reunite with his old teammate Dell Curry in the 1999-2000 season. He played the most games in the season since 1992 at the age of 35. He even tied his career high with 24 points in a win over the Boston Celtics. But Muggsy's chronic knee injury wouldn't let him go out with a full season. But that didn't stop him from having one last hurrah. He suited up for 3 games in the 2000-2001 season, his final win against the Chicago Bulls. Even though he didn't score in that game, it wasn't the end of the road just yet. In a surprising turn of events, Muggsy got traded to the New York Knicks, except there was a catch. The Knicks really just needed him for salary cap reasons, and Muggsy never played a game for them. But hey, he retired a legend. At the end of his final playing season, Muggsy ranked an impressive 12th all-time in assists and 13th all-time in assists per game. Not too shabby for the shortest man to ever play in the NBA. Muggsy Bogues wasn't hanging up his sneakers quietly. Even in retirement, he got traded in a 3-team deal to the Dallas Mavericks in August of 2001. But basketball wasn't Muggsy's main focus anymore. His mom was fighting cancer, and he was headed home to be by her side. New Mavericks owner Mark Cuban stepped up with a surprising move, an awesome one at that. Instead of saying farewell, Cuban waived Muggsy. but guaranteed his entire contract for the next 3 years. Basically, Muggsy got paid to take care of his family. This was a win-win for everyone. Muggsy could be there for his mom, and Cuban got major props for taking care of this legend. It wasn't the retirement ceremony Muggsy pictured, but it showed why he and Cuban were both pretty classy. Even though his mom sadly passed away in July 2002, Muggsy Bogues wasn't ready to give up on basketball just yet. He told the Baltimore Sun he was itching to get back on the court. Maybe retirement wasn't quite in the cards for the little man with a giant heart. Muggsy Bogues wasn't done with Charlotte after his playing days were over. In 2005, he traded in his jersey for a suit and tie, becoming the head coach of the Charlotte Sting, the city's WNBA team at the time. That was a surprise. And here's the kicker. Muggsy has zero coaching experience. JJ Redick, shall we? And guess what? All of his players towered over him, even the shortest one. Despite the odds, Muggsy led the Sting for 2 seasons, but the team eventually folded in 2007. Even though it wasn't a championship run, Muggsy proved once again that heart and hustle can take you anywhere, even the sidelines of that WNBA. Muggsy wasn't just a hooper on the court. He was a writer too. Back in 1994, he dropped his autobiography titled In the Land of Giants. This book wasn't your typical fluffy tell-all. It was a real and gritty look at Muggsy's journey from the tough streets of Baltimore to the bright lights of the NBA. And Muggsy Bogues wasn't done coaching after the WNBA. In 2011, he was back on the sidelines, this time as head coach of the United Faith Christian Academy boys basketball team. He wasn't going in blind though. He'd been assisting the previous head coach for a while. And guess what? Under Muggsy's leadership, the team turned out a whopping 6 All-State players in just 3 seasons. That's one heck of a coaching record. And even though they offered him a new contract, Muggsy decided to step down in 2014 to chase new adventures. Retire though? Nah, not even. In 2014, Muggsy wasn't ready to say goodbye to the Hornets. He became their official ambassador, helping them now off the court. Later in 2018, while catching an episode of Shark Tank, he spotted Ash and Erie, clothes designed for short kings like himself. But this wasn't just any clothing company. Remember when Mark Cuban, the guy who paid Muggsy to take care of his mom? Well, Cuban had invested in Ash and Erie too. Seeing this as a sign, Muggsy jumped right in, becoming an investor himself. Dude just keeps on winning. In January of 2020, he wasn't just a Hornets legend, he became a North Carolina Sports Hall of Famer. But Muggsy's legacy goes far beyond the court. This inspirational man also founded the Muggsy Bogues Family Foundation. This organization is all about helping families in need and giving scholarships to students who are chasing their dreams. From fighting for kids to getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, Muggsy Bogues is a true champion. So there you have it, the incredible story of Muggsy Bogues, the shortest player to ever dominate the NBA. Despite facing doubters and challenges at every turn, Muggsy proved that heart, hustle, and pure talent can take you anywhere. From the rough streets of Baltimore to the bright lights of the NBA, Muggsy's journey is an inspiration to us all. He didn't just leave his mark on the court. Muggsy became a coach, a writer, an investor, and a philanthropist. He's a true champion who continues to inspire others to chase their dreams, no matter how big or how small they may seem. Muggsy inspired countless short players, proving that size doesn't define talent. He's a true legend. Just like Trae Young, another superstar on his way to becoming a legend.